What's up, guys? It's Tony with the Grill. Today I'm going to talk about the 5 big mistakes I've made building my Jeep TJ over the years. I bought this TJ back in 2010 when I graduated high school. Now, I've done many modifications over the years, and there is 5 of them that I definitely regret doing that I wish I would have never done. So I'm going to talk about those right now. Okay, so just let me tell you, over the last 15 years of owning this Jeep TJ, I've learned a lot about it. And I put 3 different lift kits on this, and when I started building it and putting lift kits on it, I didn't realize how much suspension geometry played a role in how it drives on and off-road. I just got out of high school, and I honestly didn't really know much about the Jeep. So after I put my first lift on it, which was just a budget 2-inch spacer, and I was able to put 32-inch tires under it, and I had a lot of fun with that. I don't regret that at all. The one I do regret, my biggest mistake, was going to a 4.5-inch short arm lift kit. Now, when you do that, it puts your control arms at such a steep angle, it throws your geometry way out of whack. It did come with upper and lower control arms. They had Heim joints, so they were supposed to flex more and all this good stuff. But the problem is the geometry is just still way off. Now, you're making me have to do it. I gotta get the whiteboard out because all I have now are long arm kits on everything that's in here. So let me get the whiteboard out so we can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to show you why I did not like going to the short arm lift kit. Now, if you're buying a higher end short arm kit that comes with all the control arms and all the stuff that you need, I really feel like it's definitely a waste of money. Just save your money and go straight to a long arm because I don't feel like you're going to be happy with it. I wasn't, and I spent a lot of money on it, and I ended up just selling it for nothing to somebody else after I had it on the vehicle for a couple of years. So definitely huge waste of money. If you do a budget kit, that's cool. But when it's time to upgrade and go to something, upgrade and go straight to the long arm. So I'm going to show you why I feel like this short arm just didn't cut it for me. So here we go. I'm going to draw the front of a TJ right here. Lower control arm bracket. And we'll just say this is the axle here. Control arm comes down at a pretty steep angle. So the smaller your spring is, the less of an angle that's going to be on this. So once you go past that 2.5-inch lift kit, it really starts putting a huge angle on your control arm, changing that geometry quite a bit. So when you do a long arm kit, it pushes the arm way back there, causing your mounting point to be in a completely different location. We'll just say this is the skid plate on the TJ. And usually this is where your lower control arm is going to mount on this skid plate. So when you do that, here is now your control arm. Now, big difference. Look how steep this one is. Look how flat this one is compared to this one. Now, with a short arm, your axle travels in a arc. And with how steep this angle is already, your control arm is almost already at the bottom of its arc. So that really doesn't help with ride quality at all. The flatter you are, the better the ride quality is going to be. Now, with this, when you're a short arm, when you're going over bumps and stuff and going up hills and coming down, your suspension is going up and down, and this short arm is actually pulling your axle back and forth when you're going over bumps and going over rocks and stuff like that, causing it to pretty much hop over whatever you're going over. So it definitely makes for a pretty harsh ride on road, and it doesn't help off-road either, because with this angle, with the short arm, it's actually pushing you into your obstacles that you're going over. Now with the long arm, that is actually allowing the suspension to travel up and climb over the obstacle versus pushing you into the obstacle, if that makes sense. But with this long arm here, there's very little arc when you're going up and over bumps and hills and stuff like that with your suspension going in and out. It almost travels completely flat. So it allows your suspension to travel up and travel down and causing it to just perform better off-road and ride way better on the road than a short arm. Now, I truly believe long arm is the way to go. That is definitely my opinion over the last 15 years of me driving my Jeep and for the purposes that I built it for. Your purpose can be completely different. So this is just my opinion. If you're gonna put a suspension on it, don't waste your money on the expensive short arms. Go straight to the long arm. Okay, really quick. There is another thing you could do if you have a short arm lift kit, but for me, it's more of a Band-Aid than an actual fix. Is you can go ahead, we're going to take the long arm off here. See, that's not on there anymore. You can go ahead and put drop brackets on your control arm. Now that's going to lower where your control arm sits, and then it's going to make it a lot flatter than where it normally is. But now with that is you're adding another piece to your vehicle, and it hangs down low, and it can definitely cause some concern for hanging up and stuff like that. Now, not everybody is going to be too concerned about that. They're more of a daily driver. They might wheel it light or whatever. This could be an option for you to go to a short arm with drop brackets to relocate your control arms to give you better suspension geometry. So if you're not into off-roading that much, maybe you just want to get it up and go drive it on the road or do some light wheeling, I guess this could be an option for you. I don't want to completely blow that one out of the water, but if you're going to do some more hardcore wheeling, but you still want to drive it, definitely the long arm kit is the way to go. My biggest mistake was buying an expensive short arm lift kit. Never again. Now, if you're buying a budget lift kit, no problems, but when you're spending a lot of money on a short arm lift kit, it's definitely not worth it. Go straight to that long arm. My second biggest mistake was going to this 1-ton steering kit with Heim joints. Now, before I did this kit, I had the Rugged Ridge steering kit on it, and I tell you what, I made a huge mistake going to this Heim joint steering. Now, these are RPM, I talked to RPM, they told me what drop pitman arm I should get, what track bar drop bracket I should get. So I followed all their instructions, and it still doesn't ride that well. I like the crossover steering that Rugged Ridge had. I think Metal Cloak makes one now that's pretty much identical, but Metal Cloak makes it, but it was the same pretty much setup. I'm not saying they're same, but the same style setup. But anyhow, I wish I would have stayed with that steering. This here, just horrible on road, crazy bump steer. The problem is I couldn't get these angles where they need to be. They're just way off. And so one hits its limit before the other, and it pulls the steering wheel when you're going up and over bumps and when you're on the road. Now, I'll cruise this TJ at 80 miles an hour, but if you hit a bump, it's definitely going to bump steer you pretty hard. So you got to pay attention to what you're doing. So biggest mistake was doing this 1-ton steering kit. I definitely don't like it. Plus, I had the Rugged Ridge kit on my TJ, and it lasted 5 years until I got in an accident, and I had to get a new one. I had a car pull out in front of me, and I just plowed into it. I actually drove up over the trunk and all this stuff. I was able to drive home, but it definitely bent the link pretty bad. And I'm not quite sure if they even make Rugged Ridge ones anymore. I don't know. But if they do, I really like that one quite a bit. If not, Metal Cloak makes the same design, and it drove really well. But anyhow, with this Heim joint, it wore out in about a year. So I have to replace this Heim joint already. So definitely not a fan of it, and I'm not a fan on how it drives on the road. So there's that. I wish I would have stayed with that crossover style steering kit versus this, or maybe even go with the Curry Correct Link. I put that on my dad's TJ, and that drives really well on road and off road. So I would definitely go with that kind of style of steering kit versus this 1-ton with the Heims. So when you're looking at your drag link, which is here, and your track bar, which is here, you want these to be parallel to each other and about the same length. Now, I feel like the biggest issue is these two being at least parallel together. I have seen where the track bar could be a little shorter than the drag link. Just because of packaging, it's really hard to make everything the perfect length, but you can definitely get them parallel to each other, which I'm going to do here in the future. But As of right now, this is kind of what I'm dealing with, and it drives horrible. So when you're putting a steering kit on, you want to make sure your drag link and your track bar are definitely parallel to each other, and try to get them the same length, because that's going to give you the best drivability that you can get out of it. So anyhow, this right here, the steering kit, is my second biggest mistake I've ever done on my Jeep TJ. Now for my third mistake, it was going with these Dana 44 axles and not switching over to the JK ends. Now, these 44s have the JK Rubicon gear set in it, so definitely already a beefier gear set than a TJ gear set, because those are a lot smaller than the JK gear set. But I don't have the JK ends, so I'm stuck with the TJ brakes, which are definitely not the greatest, especially when you go into bigger tires. And I'm stuck with this steering setup. If I would have swapped over to the JK, I could have had a lot better steering setup and a lot better brakes. Now, definitely if you go to a Dana 44 and it's set up for a TJ, make sure you get the 44 that has the JK gear set at least. But at the time, I didn't think I wanted to do that. Well, now I really wish I would have. And also, if I would have went to the JK axles, I could have went to the 5-on-5 lugs versus the 5x4.5 that I have on it now. So I'm very limited on wheels. The TJ wheel selection is definitely not that good anymore. They have way more selection for JK just because how old the TJ is getting. It's getting harder and harder to find a nice wheel. So I do have the 44 in the rear, and also it's a high pinion in the front. So I'm definitely excited about the 44s that I put under it, but I wish I would have done the JK axle versus the TJ axle. But I'm definitely thankful I at least got the 44 that had the JK gear set in it. So my third thing was going to an upgraded axle and not going straight to a JK axle. Plus, you would have got more width than what the TJ's at. So you definitely would have felt a little bit better on side hills having a little bit wider track. But anyhow, if you're looking at upgrading the axles, looking at going to like a JK axle versus the TJ, you can get a bare axle and get a weld-on truss that already has all your brackets where they pretty much need to go. It's very easy to do if you know how to weld, but you might even be able to buy a full axle now that's JK that can bolt right under a TJ. It seems like a lot of things are a lot easier to do nowadays than when I started in the off-road industry way back when. But anyhow, get JK axles for your TJ. You definitely won't regret it. Okay, number 3 is going with a good brake for your TJ. Since I didn't swap over to the JK, so I didn't get the better brakes, eventually I am going to go to the WJ knuckles and change over to those brakes. But with a TJ and you go to a bigger tire, you definitely want to go with like a drilled and slotted rotor. I have the power stops on there. The biggest reason is when you get these bigger tires on there and you try to stop, you jam the brakes on, your brakes start to heat and you start to get brake fade. And that happened to me when I first put my 35s on this TJ. And I tell you what, that was the last time I ran a normal brake pad and rotor on this TJ. After that, I've been running power stops on it and I've never had a problem with it since. So, I mean, that was probably about, I don't know, 10 years ago now. When I put these on, I was going down the highway, someone pulled out in front of me, and I hit the brakes, and there was no brakes. So I had brake fade like almost instantly, and I ended up going off into a ditch, into the field, because I didn't want to hit the person. So if you're putting bigger tires on your TJ, I would say at least 35s and up, put a good drilled and slotted rotor on it. I like power stops. Now, there are some cheaper drilled and slotted rotors. I'm not 100% on those. I just know power stops work really well for me. So one of my biggest mistakes was just not putting good brakes on it. My fifth and final huge mistake when building my Jeep, or just pretty much anything, is being too brand specific. There's a lot of good brands out there anymore, and they're always evolving and making better and nicer things. So don't limit yourself on your build just because you're so stuck on one brand. You can definitely look into other brands and build your Jeep. When I first started building this, I was stuck on one brand, and that's all I was putting on it. And now over the years, things have kind of evolved and changed. And man, there's so many brands out there that I definitely love. I definitely enjoy their parts and stuff like that. So don't be stuck on just one brand. That was a huge mistake I made because it really limits what you can do with your vehicle. There's a lot of different things out there, and you can just go crazy or you can just stay mild. So my fifth and final mistake, being brand specific. Go out there, build your Jeep how you want. Don't get stuck on one brand because there's a lot of good brands out there. You guys have a good one. You have any questions, just leave me a comment. If you guys have any big mistakes that you've done that I haven't mentioned, put them in the comments. Let people know about it so when they're building their TJs, they can learn from our experience and they don't have to go through the heartache like I did building this. So put them in the comments. But if you guys have any questions, leave me a comment. I'll get back to you. You guys have a good one.